we are now going to look at one of the absolute best features and reasons to use Preview as a PDF tool on your Mac, and that is the Mark-Up Toolbar. So when you open your little toolbox here, you are going to see that you have a variety of different options to do and to use with this PDF. PDFs traditionally are very hard to modify or work with unless you have Adobe software, and then in that case, usually you have to have a more advanced Adobe program to be able to access some tools. With Preview, it is already built into your Mac. You don't need to purchase or do anything else. Simply open it and begin to use it. So the first thing that I want to point out is this right here is your text selection, and that is just your traditional going to highlight something like document example in case I needed to modify or work with that in some way. That's just your simple basic highlight the text. The next one over is actually a selection where you can highlight or isolate an area, and you'll notice right here the crop option popped up. So when I have a PDF, let's say someone shares a PDF with me or I find one, and I really only want a piece of that PDF or a small portion of the PDF, this allows me to crop the document, and it is going to say it doesn't delete the content outside the selection. So what it does is it hides it so that I can work with that section. So right now I have this as what I am working with. Now remember, it says that it may not delete that in other applications, but if I'm going to be using Preview, this is what I want, this is what I have. I'm going to show you how this actually functions by saving this as document 1 mod, and I will save it. I will close. Now I'm going to go back in, open it up, and you'll see that this is all I have left of my original document. The other reason I want to show you this is because if you're thinking, wait a minute, you changed the name, where's the rest of the PDF? When you are working in Preview with a PDF, if you are going to make any modifications at all to the original document, you're going to want to make a duplicate first, so that when you make those modifications in the document, you are ready for the fact that it will automatically hold them and save over what you had. So it overwrites itself just like a Google Doc would do. What I'm going to do right now is go to File, Revert to, Browse All Versions. So what you will begin to see is I can go back to different versions of this PDF that I have done. You'll notice I have one here, I have one from earlier, and I can go all the way back. Every iteration I have done on this PDF, I can go back to. I'd like to restore this one, so I will hit Restore, and I have my original PDF back. So if you do make a mistake or you do something and you think, oh my goodness, I just ruined this PDF, you can restore. It functions exactly the same as you would try to restore from Google Drive if you had a Google Doc that had done that too. So now that I have my document here and I want to actually modify, but I want to be sure in case I need the original. Remember, we can go to File and we can go to Duplicate, and when I duplicate, you'll see that it made a copy of that for me. So now I can close my original, and any modifications I make on this one, it's okay because my original one is safe and I won't need to worry about it again. So let's go ahead and open up our Mark-Up Toolbar again. And this pen, you'll see there are two. This pen is a shape pen, so you can draw a rough shape. So I'm going to draw that shape, and you'll notice what it did. It automatically determined, because that's the shape pen, that I wanted a circle. Over here on the left, if I wanted the actual thing I drew, I can just keep it. Or I could say, yes, I want the circle. If I don't want either of them, I can go over to it. You'll see that I have a hand here. Make sure that my 4 dots are around it and hit delete, and it will delete the circle that I drew. The other thing to keep in mind though is this is the last tool that I chose, so it is going to stay on that tool until I change it. The next pen over is the pen that just allows you to draw anything, anywhere, any shape, any kind that you want. So let's say that I draw that. So right now I have a circle and 3 dots. Make sure that my hand shows up. I can click on it and simply delete those from the page. So if you make a mistake and you forget that you had that pen in there, you can simply do this, make sure the hand shows up, and then delete. So these two options here, the two pen options you have, are very helpful if someone shares a PDF or you have a PDF, or maybe you're creating one for your students because you want to have the freedom to do this and then share the PDF in Google Classroom. You could highlight just by underlining. So you could add a little bit to it by underlining maybe twice, and you could say, make sure you pay attention to this. Or you could circle something. So if you had a diagram you were showing them, you could make annotations all over the PDF and it will save them. Now, in relation to this pen, I want to jump over just one section to these line options. You'll see that I have several pen options here. I can determine how thick the pen is. I can also use this line option that kind of, when I use it, you'll see that it creates a shadow, so it gives you a little bit more of a stand off the page, just in case you would want that with your drawing pen.